Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Hello, good evening and welcome along my fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? Still awake after the other night's game? It's been a couple of bad ones, hasn't it? Hey, this is Leicester Till I Die TV. You can catch us live now on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV, Facebook Leicester Till I Die the group, and Periscope and Twitter at Leicester TID. We're all over there. If you are going to be watching on YouTube, do us a favour, give that little button a subscribe, give it a click and subscribe to our channel, and we would love you forever. Big game this weekend. We can't afford to be asleep again, can we? It's third against fourth. Wolves and Brighton was sleep fests, I should say. Oh, it was like they were playing in snow. It was two of the most boring games I have seen all season. I have a feeling it might not be tomorrow. Let's welcome in my guest for this evening on the Opposition View show, and we want to hear your views as well. So any questions about Liverpool or the game, I'm sure he will be happy to answer them. And it's Douglas. Good evening, Doug. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much for having me. I think you said snooze fest to put it lightly. I watched your game against Wolves. That wasn't very, very good. And then Brighton, it had to be a 90th minute winner. But no, thank you very much for having me, and hope you are doing well.
Thank you very much for coming on. The gentleman that I was going to have on wasn't able to make it, and at the last minute you've come on. Give us a shout out for your podcast, fancast, Twitter, etc.
Yeah, so as you see, it's the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. I am on Twitter at enrod_1992. You can find me on Instagram at douglas.horn, and you can find me at Facebook at Douglas James Horn. There we go. Sure to give the guy a follow and give him a bit of friendly banter, shall we say. We've got the game is going to be on Saturday. It's for what it's worth these days. It's not. It's at home. It's at the King Power, 12:30 on BT Sport. If you have that platform, TalkSport Radio, Radio Leicester, and of course lcfc.com for those of you that want to listen. I'm impressed that you watched those games. It wasn't the best advert for Leicester City Football Club, were they? No, to be honest with you, they weren't. But to be honest, you guys have had a very good season so far. And you know what? This is going to be a very tricky game tomorrow. You're probably playing us at the very right time. We're not in form at the moment, so I think you've got us at the right time.
I mean, we actually mentioned that the other day, and of course, Liverpool are very well known for the 4 letters YNWA. And if you've ever wondered what it means, at the moment, it's probably "You'll Never Win Again."
Well, at Anfield, you could say that.
I mean, what has gone wrong? In 60-odd 8 games, and you hadn't lost. And you've got 3 on the trot now. What has gone wrong?
Oh, bloody Burnley, bloody Brighton, honestly. Like, the 2 clubs you wouldn't have expected to have lost to. The two, honestly. Manchester City, like, that one was absolute thrashing we got. But, look, I think we were very, very lucky. I think, before the Burnley game, and we had Manchester United the week before there, and they should have probably won. So I felt it was coming to an end eventually, but our form has been. I think we've taken 9 points from 9 games past Christmas. It's not good enough.
Very similar to us last season. I mean, the lockdown kind of threw a spanner in the works, but we were going along great guns, and then suddenly the wheels came off the wagon. I mean, hopefully it continues tomorrow, but it's just at the moment. I mean, you were saying, bloody Brighton, bloody Burnley, whatever. We lost to Fulham, who were bottom of the league at the time. Man United did the same with Sheffield United. It's a kind of season when you can't predict. We try and predict the score every week. We've got no idea. It's like peeing in the wind. You just can't get it, can you?
It's a strange season, and obviously we were talking before off air that this season is very, very strange. There's no fans. It's empty stadiums. It's not the best, but I wouldn't have never have envisaged us losing to Burnley or Brighton before the season started. But that's football.
It is. I mean, take the start of the season. I mean, Tottenham looked to be running away with it. Man City, we'd stuffed them 5-2. They were mid-table. Arsenal are mid-table. And look at how it's all changed. I mean, Man United were getting ready to look for Ollie's replacement. Now they're sitting second. I don't think you can predict anything this season. It is a topsy-turvy season. But you were saying, looking at the table here. I mean, for us, you need to win it, A, to obviously stop your bad run, and B, that would put you equal on points with ourselves above us because it's a slightly better goal difference at the moment. But if we can beat you, it's going to give us, a 6-point gap between ourselves and yourself, thinking that Liverpool are almost certainly going to be top 4 at the end of the season. And I think you will be. It really is a 6-pointer for us.
100%. 100%. I think you haven't beaten us since 2017. But no, it's all right. It's all right. But I mean, looking at Leicester, I mean, your home form is not as good as your away form, I would say. Because like that Manchester City game was an absolute statement of intent. You can play against the big teams, and that Man City game was absolutely magnificent. So I am very, very wary, and I'm wary about the fact that Vardy is back. I did not know that. And looking at
Kelechi is on a he scored 2 in 3. Vardy hasn't scored in 5, but he does like playing you.
Oh, he absolutely loves playing us. I think he loves scoring against us as well. So the fact that we've probably got like one of our new centre backs starting tomorrow, and I think Kozanka back, it's going to be very, very interesting game. But I think Vardy will definitely fancy his chances against a makeshift, Liverpool backline, which it is. I mean, if you had said to me this season you would have lost Van Dijk, Gomez, and Matip, and have to play, I think we've played 16 different centre-back partnerships in all competitions this season. Tomorrow will be our 17th.
Wow. And the funny thing is, though, like you saying that, we've got Fofana out, we've got Justin out. The start of the season, we wouldn't have thought either of those would have been playing the amount of games we were playing. A new signing, well, 2 reasonably new signings. You ease them in, but it was a case of throwing them in at the deep end,
thankfully both of them have sworn. But at the start of the season, we had, bless him, Christian Fuchs in. Mm-hmm. He basically has played more games this season than the previous 3. But these are your injuries here. Well, this was up to date a couple of days ago. Don't know if it's got any worse yet. But Jota, Matip, Keita, Gomez, and Van Dijk. There's some big names in there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think obviously the main one I can see is obviously Van Dijk and Gomez, Matip, but yeah, Keita can't stay fit to save himself, and Jota loves a goal against you as well from obviously the game at Anfield last. I think it was October we played you last time. So like Jota's a big miss. I think he's surprised a few people actually. I don't think he was expected to start as many games as he has. And he just came in, played his part, and I think he scored 9 goals this season, which is very, very good. So, but obviously to add to that, Fabinho is out tomorrow. He's picked up a wee muscle injury, and it looks like Thiago might be. It looks like Thiago might be injured as well tomorrow.
I don't know why I'm cheering, because that was your injury list. I mean, let's have a look at ours. I mean, Justin, when I did this, he was being assessed, but we've now found out it's worse than we could have hoped, and unfortunately, he's out for possibly the rest of the season. To be honest with you, but the thing is, he's played every single minute. Pratt's out for the rest of the season. Fofana and Castagna are out. I mean, you've got 3 defenders in. Well, 4 if you include Morgan, but bless him, I know Morgan's sort of a bit part player, but we'll sorry, it took you out then. Pressed the wrong button.
Sorry.
At this rate, it's going to be our tea ladies versus your tea ladies, isn't it?
Oh, the way it's going. I think I'll need to expect a wee call from Liverpool Football Club. Oh, can you come to Leicester tomorrow to play centre back? It's just the way the things are going right now. But James Justin, I have to say, is a big loss. I think he's been absolutely magnificent for you guys, and not bad for a player who came from Luton Town as well. And obviously, we can say that we bought Andy Robertson from Hull as well. So signings like that can actually work out, and Justin has been fantastic. So I wish him a very speedy recovery.
Thank you very much. And it's not always about buying big names, is it? And talking about not buying big names, well, we didn't buy anybody in the January transfer window, but we said when you're judging this year's January transfer window, the biggest transfer on the day was Liverpool buying a defender we'd never heard of from, was it Preston?
Yeah, Ben Davis, yeah. To be honest with you, the only time I heard from him is that he was about to go to Celtic, and then Liverpool got in at the very last minute, I think. So, if you choose between Liverpool and Celtic, I think Liverpool always gazump you, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and this is what we always say when we say about being a big top 6 club or something like that. No matter how bad Liverpool do, they'll always be seen as a big club, because of the history. I mean, Ben Davies, I think he's probably going to start tomorrow now, isn't he?
Possibly. Who knows? Who knows what Klopp's got on his mind? I really hope Henderson doesn't play the back again. As much as Henderson has been very, very good at the back, we miss his drive and runs in midfield. Yeah. I would say that for sure. So we need him back in the midfield.
You could be talking totally about the Leicester team here, because we have Ndidi as our centre midfield, and he's the nearest thing I think we're ever going to get to having the Kante. But he can play centre back as well, and he has played centre back for us this season. But we do miss him, when he's not in that mid. I mean, we've got Mendy, who has been injured for most of his time at Leicester. He's made a comeback this season and has been totally and utterly outstanding. We need to sign him up on a long-term contract. Cowdrey, he can do a fair job, but when you do take somebody out of their natural position because of injuries and covering somebody else, it does affect the team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I mean, Wilfred Ndidi, for me, is one of the top 3 DMs in the Premier League. He's just fantastic. He's really, really good. So, yeah, I think, having your 2 best midfielders at the back, it will affect you. And, you guys having, obviously, Ndidi at the back as well. Yeah. It definitely does affect you.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. We were talking about the last time we played. It was in November. You had a reasonably easy win over us that day. I mean, we helped you by starting the scoring off for you, which I thought was very generous of us, giving you an own goal. 21 minutes, yeah, as if, because like you say, we haven't beaten you for a while, and we'll look at those stats in a minute. But to give a team like Liverpool a start like that,
a helping hand.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that game in October, I was like, I remember the talk of that game, and like everyone was expecting Leicester to come to Anfield and give us a very, very good game. Unfortunately, when you give Liverpool an open a helping hand with the own goal with Johnny Evans, and then Jota gets the second. Actually, I remember. Funnily enough, I remember that game. I think Johnny Evans nearly scored 2 or 3 own goals that night. So he was very, very lucky. He was very, very lucky that he didn't have 2 or 3 own goals to his name. But no, I was surprised how comfortable that night was.
I mean, especially because our away form, like you alluded to earlier, our away form is a hell of a lot better than our home form at the moment. And yet Liverpool seem to be, and I was we do a thing with a preview show, and we have an ex-player on, Steve Lynex. You're probably much too young to remember him, but used to be a winger for Leicester in the 80s. And he can remember that we used to be your bogey side. In the season we got relegated from the what was Division 1, I think we were the first team to do the double over for you in years, and the first team to beat you at Anfield for a season or something. But now it's total role reversal. You are our bogey team. I mean, looking here, like you said earlier, 2017, the last time we beat you, we managed it twice, in fairness, but 3-1. It was Craig Shakespeare's first game after we sacked Ranieri, and we beat you 3-1 at the King Power. We did 2-0 over to you in the League Cup, third round, when in fact Danny Ward was in goal for you, who is now our reserve goalkeeper, of course. But yeah, it's been we are overdue a win, and I think we should win,
I think, as we said at the top of the show, I think it's definitely a good time to play us. But I remember that cup game. I remember Danny Ward started in goal for that one. But I remember the game that Craig Shakespeare won as well. And again, I think everyone expected Liverpool to turn up on that day, but not to be. And I mean, Vardy loves a goal against us. I think that was Danny Drinkwater, if I remember rightly, as well. Coutinho scored that night as well.
I thought I'd got it there. I had, Coutinho got yours, I think, 86 minutes, something like that. But, I mean, we'd taken a lot of stick because, as you're finding out this season, winning the Premier League is one thing, defending it is something totally different. Especially, and I think this is what is surprising everybody, is when we won it, obviously nobody expected it. It was never going to happen in a million years, and it was a one-off. And the fact that we struggled the next year, everybody sort of said, "Yeah, back to normality." And Ranieri, in fairness, had to go. We were bottom 3 or 4, and he had to go. But you won it so convincingly last year, and I think that's, for me anyway. I'm looking at last year and thinking, well, I expected you to, and I do believe, for me, football goes round in cycles. Like I say, I can remember the Liverpool side under Paisley, under Shankly, when they dominated. Then you had Man United. Now you got sort of Man City a little bit. But I did expect you to come back, and I know this is where we said before it's a mad season, but you were so good last season.
Yeah, the thing is, I think, the first time to win it in 30 years, I mean, albeit,
Yeah.
Funny how we can't celebrate with our fans, which was really, really annoying. But yeah, I think the fact is that this team has been going for it for the last 3 years. I mean, to go to a Champions League final, lose it, and then bounce back, and then go to the Champions League final and then win it, and then obviously win the league. I mean, we only lost the league to 2 points, I think, to Man City in 18-19. So there is going to be a downward spiral, and I think what Fergie was good at for Manchester United was he was refreshing the team. I don't think Klopp has done that most times. So I think the squad does need a refresh. I think there'll be players probably going in and out of the summer. I expect a big summer. Actually, I expect a lot of players to potentially be moved on.
You made the point there about refreshing the team, and there was really probably only one way for you to go, because I mean, you held the European Cup, the Premier League, was it the FA or the League Cup? You had the World Club Championships. I mean, you literally you needed to build another stadium just to stick your trophies in, didn't you? That season.
Yeah, yeah. I think the other one you were looking for was the European Super Cup, because Klopp doesn't like the League Cup or the FA Cup.
Forgive me for forgetting one.
Not a problem.
But we'll have a look at sort of your form at the moment. I mean, you know, we've won 2, drawn 2, including that snooze fest against Wolves. We managed to get our own back on Fulham. Leeds, we just didn't turn up. But yeah, like you said, you've got that 4-1 against City, and that was although it is Man City and they are running, on a good run at the moment. The scoreline surprised me, I must admit. Brighton, Burnley, on paper, and I know we don't win games on paper, but you are going through this little peak at the moment. It is a bad, and I think we said it earlier. For you, it's as important as us, because lose another one, not only are those 6 points behind, but you're getting into that mindset, aren't you?
Yeah, and then obviously you've got the teams coming in, around you. I think Chelsea are closing in on us. I think they're a point behind us. I was going to say Tottenham, but then again, I do remember them actually finishing third in a 2-horse race with you guys when you won the league.
Indeed.
So,
indeed.
So I think. I mean, you can't really rule out West Ham or I hate to admit Everton in there as well. So it's definitely a rat race, and we're definitely in a top 4 race now.
Yeah, I definitely got to ask this, because obviously the worrying thing for me is, like I say, looking at last season, we were odds on for the Champions League place, and then it all went wrong. Did that surprise you last season?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I was very, very surprised about losing it on the very last day. But then I remember Brendan Rodgers' teams seemed to go out of steam for some reason. I don't know what it is. He was fantastic at Celtic. He did really well at Celtic, but then anyone could win the league in Scotland. But unfortunately, not this season, as you can see from Rangers dominating. But I just felt last season, I just felt you ran out of steam a little bit. But you have to say that you did deserve Champions League last season. I don't know where Manchester United came from, but they were very, very lucky to get that Champions League spot.
And it worked out well for them, didn't it? Cough.
Tough.
Yeah. Tell me, I mean, Brendan Rodgers, he's managed both clubs. Obviously, you've got Klopp now, and he's a god to you, and we understand why. Memories of Rodgers at Liverpool? He took you within a slip of winning, or it wasn't just that, obviously, but he took you so close, didn't he?
He was so close to winning the title in 13-14. That was a magnificent season. That was probably one of the best individual performances from a season from Luis Suarez, who everyone will remember him. He was an absolute menace. Obviously, off the field, antics obviously took effect with him, but what a wonderful footballer he was. And I think the fact that, you know, we kind of, this is the thing with us. Whenever we have a good season, we always seem to have a very bad season. So the fact that 14-15, you know, Champions League, we were in the Champions League, but I think we went out of the group stage. We were third, I think, and then we went to the Europa League and then lost to Besiktas, I seem to remember. So I keep saying it, Brendan Rodgers was unlucky to lose his job. He was unlucky to lose his job after a 1-1 with Everton. You know, I usually you would think that was a good result to, you know, keep his job for another week, but you know, the owners obviously saw fit to obviously let him go. But yeah, he was very unlucky. He should have won something at Liverpool. Yeah,
and Mo Salah. Let's talk about Mo Salah, who somebody posted in the Leicester group. It is forecast really heavy winds in Leicester tomorrow, and they're all worried about whether Mo Salah will be able to stay on his feet or not. Is it that bad? Does he goes down quite easily, I believe?
He does have a tendency to go down very easily. Yes, you could obviously see the penalty. I think, you know, it's the slightest touch from Diaz on his shoulder, and obviously that was given a penalty. But Mo Salah's been fantastic since he's been at Liverpool, and you know he's been really, really good this season. He's probably I wouldn't say he's been our best player this season because he'll get all the headlines for all the goals, but you look at our team and probably. I would probably say Curtis Jones has probably been one of our best players. Andy Robertson's been one of our best players. But as you say, Salah will always get the headlines for the goals, and his goal scoring record is absolutely phenomenal for us.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we say it tongue in cheek because we only wish we had him. But I'm always fascinated with this because. With Leicester, we are a one-county team. There's only really us in the whole of Leicestershire as a league team. So we don't, you know, our rivalries, if you like, go outside Derby to Coventry, etc. You've obviously got a team right on your doorstep. And they've always had, and I know it's a special relationship that you have between the two clubs. But if it was down to you weren't going to win the Premier League, but Everton could or Man United could.
Oh, it's got to be Everton. It's got to be Everton. You want your neighbours to do something at least. Obviously, they haven't won a trophy since 1995, but every day of the week you would say Everton over Manchester United. Every day.
Yeah, well, because I mean, you've got Man United as your big rivals. Do you know where that came from? Because, like you say, they're more rivals to you. Look, you know, just hearing you say that than Everton are. But Everton, you know, I would have thought would have been your biggest rivals being on the doorstep.
I think Manchester United, Liverpool has been obviously. I'm too young to remember, but I think it's been rivalry since probably the 70s and 80s. I think Liverpool were dominating the 70s and 80s, and then United dominating the 90s, and then obviously the noughties as well. So I think it is. To me, that's still the biggest rivalry in English football. I don't care what Manchester City fans say. Like or the people over at TalkSport speak about obviously who was it Trevor Sinclair saying City Liverpool is the biggest rivalry in English football. No, it's not. It's not.
Maybe we should start getting Everton and Man City to be rivals so you can so what are your hopes for this season then? What would you hope for at the end of the season?
Well, obviously to be back in the Champions League. I think everyone wants to be back in the Champions League. You guys will be back in the Champions League as well. I think
would be nice.
It would be. It'd be nice to get you back in the Champions League. But yeah, I think Champions League football. We're definitely at the title race now. I think Man City have got a game in hand, and even if they win that, I think they're 13 points behind. 13 points ahead of us. So looking at that, I would say top four Probably a good run in the Champions League, but I am not writing Leipzig off, because I tell you, Leipzig-Liverpool is going to be one hell of a game on Tuesday.
Yes. And is that the game that you can't play? You've got to play somewhere else? Is that yourself?
Yeah, it's basically in the Puskás Arena in Hungary.
It is such a funny season, this, isn't it? You know, and
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? One player from Leicester. If you could just pick one player that you would have in your team from Leicester.
Tielemans for me.
Really?
I think he's so underrated. So underrated. He's very. The thing I like about Leicester is they've got very good technical players in Maddison, who I think has been absolutely fantastic. I think he's been involved, in 19 goal involvements. I think that's 9 goals and 10 assists, which is a fantastic record for him. But Tielemans is really, £40 million. That's already looking like an absolute bargain. Yeah. So he's been fantastic as well. So I think if I had to pick between Tielemans and Maddison, I'd probably say Tielemans.
Yeah, I mean he was a bargain, and we know your biggest rivals were after him after we'd got him on loan, but we managed to secure his signature. And I think this is one of the things he sort of when he plays in the game. Sometimes we don't hear him being mentioned or spoken about, but he's there. He's always there, and he was made captain the other week when he wasn't playing. But I think the thing that annoys sort of us as Leicester fans is the other day when we scored a goal, we had 28 passes building up to the goal. If that had been a Liverpool, a Man United, Man City, Sky would have been absolutely having orgasms on every show about it. But it hardly got the mention. I mean, I'm pleased on Sky that we're actually on BT, but we're actually pleased when we get playing one of the top 6 on Sky, because we'll then actually get mentioned. Otherwise, Sky sort of forget who we are.
I like how Leicester fans have named themselves the Invisibles, because basically, I honestly don't get why Sky don't focus on you guys more. For me, you're probably now part of the top 6. I think Arsenal are slowly falling out of that, so I think Leicester should be now known as a top 6 side.
Yes. I remember when, I think it was the Man City Liverpool game, possibly. There was one, but we were playing first against Wolves, and you thought we weren't playing. They were just talking about the game after, But hey, there's nothing wrong with being invisible and coming up on the outside and nobody seeing us. I'm going to ask you for this just at the end, because we do score predictions on the website leicestertillidie.com. And we do it with 3 ex-players and myself. Steve Walsh and myself, we've said it's going to be tight. We'd be happy with a 1-1 draw. Steve Linux, he thinks we're going to beat you 2-0. I'd be quite happy with that. But Ian Marshall, who, of course, had a spell at Everton, he still thinks you're going to beat us again 2-1. So I'm going to ask you, and I know it's hard to predict against your team, but I've gone for 1-1 because we're both racked with injuries.
As you say, games like this are so hard to predict, and as you say, it is a 6-pointer. I honestly don't know what to expect tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you. I have to back my team. But do you know the funny thing is, I've had this feeling all week that we're going to lose 2-1. But now going slowly into it, the fact that we've had a bit of a break as well might actually help us. So I'm actually going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
I can understand, because you've not played midweek because you're out of the cup. But I just thought I would say that. Just a couple of mentions here. LCFC boy up the Foxes and keep it going this time. Brookline, who's one of our fans. Good evening, Brookline. Thanks for joining us over there from America. Many Liverpool fans in Boston. What a great team. So, come on, Brookline. Go on, Leicester are the better team, surely. What are you saying there? Doug, it has been great having you on. Just give another quick shout out to all your social media again.
Yes, it's the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. Come and check me out. I just recently hit 1K subscribers, so come and check me out with that. Thank you very much. You can find me on Twitter at enrod_1992. You can find me on Instagram at Douglas.Horn, and you can find me at Facebook, Douglas James Horn. But absolute pleasure to come on and speak to you, Chris. And I've actually subscribed to your channel as well. Keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you very much, mate. I will do the same for you as soon as we come off here. I would say good luck tomorrow, but I really wouldn't mean it. In fairness, I just hope we sort of both get out of it with no more injuries.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, no more injuries would be actually very, very nice.
Very, very nice. And I think we probably, if we're honest, we'd probably both take a point at the moment.
Oh, yeah, me too. The way we're playing.
Thanks very much, Doug. Thanks for coming on and helping me out. And stay safe, mate. And good luck for the rest of the season.
Absolute pleasure. Same to you.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Doug there. Go and check out all his online accounts. Really helped me out this evening with coming on. This has been Leicester Till I Die TV. If you want to catch us, we are on obviously YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Please give us a subscribe on there. And if you want to listen to us rather than look at us, and really don't blame you at all for that, you can catch us on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google, and all your good podcast platforms. Listening to us, it's Leicester Till I Die. Guys, we're going to be back tomorrow. It's a 12:30 kickoff. We'll have the pre-match show 45 minutes before, the post-match show afterwards, about 4 o'clock-ish, I think it will be. Let's hope we're going to be talking 3 points. We've got to beat Liverpool at last, haven't we? How long has it been? We need it. We need it. We do need, and then we'll be 6 points clear of them. That would be good. Hey, take care. Have a good Friday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. All the best.
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.